Lantern Fusion Explored. Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Terry and this is Marvelous Videos. Green Lantern has always been the beacon of willpower. He is integral to the Justice League, just like Superman and Batman are. But in a recent comic series, the character found himself being demonically possessed as he was being used by devilish ancient evil known as Nezha, who wished to eliminate all the heroes. Since Nezha had been defeated in the past by the heroes of his time, he wanted to ensure his success in the present by eradicating the heroes. This is how Batman and Superman found themselves going up against several villains from their rosters in the comic series Batman-Superman World's Finest. Green Lantern also ended up getting involved in a whole new Dragon Ball Z-style power-up with two of DC's most fearsome and loved superheroes, and that's where today's video comes in. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Now, let's begin. Lantern Fusion Origin Explored. Before we get into what the Lantern Fusion really is, we need to go over the details that lead to the event. With Batman and Superman together, it's pretty obvious that these events aren't some casual good guy versus bad guy conflict. There's a greater evil at play here. The comic series Batman-Superman World's Finest was written by Mark Waid with Dan Mora as the artist. As an ongoing series that was released on March the 15th, 2022, there are only 4 issues so far, and it unfortunately ends in a cliffhanger. Of course, this will be resolved by the upcoming issues. The first issue, that's Chapter 1, Doomed, opens with Poison Ivy attacking Clark Kent's workplace, the Daily Planet in Metropolis. She takes a child hostage as she wreaks havoc in the city. However, Batman, Superman and Robin come to the rescue. Poison Ivy is restrained by Batman and Robin while Superman saves the child. All of a sudden, Superman's nemesis Metallo crashes the party with his green heart made of kryptonite. Superman is weakened while Ivy attacks Batman and Robin, so now a weakened Superman is left against his natural enemy. But Metallo can't kill Superman with the kryptonite as he himself requires it to survive. But he has a trick up his sleeve. He takes out a syringe with a dozen pieces of red kryptonite blended into a radioactive cocktail. Superman is affected by the material as different types of red kryptonite cause him to show several unique and disgusting symptoms. However, he falls prey to it and enters something like a catatonic state. Batman and Robin hear Superman scream and get aggressive in their fight against Ivy. Robin defeats Metallo, but Superman is in a terrible condition. At first, his body keeps morphing into steel while he's in pain. Then the material begins to affect him mentally, and he starts to imagine the people around him as his enemies such as General Zod and Lex Luthor. Due to this, he goes on a rampage until Batman manages to pull the right strings to make him stop. The Doom Patrol is called, and Negative Man uses his abilities as semi-sentient radiation to stabilize Superman. Meanwhile, a few silhouettes were seen in Metropolis during Superman's rampage, with one of them having very apparent devil horns. In the second issue, entitled Chapter 2, The Devil Himself, Superman is taken to Dr. Niles Calder, who deduces that Superman only has a few minutes to live because of the radiation poisoning. However, Negative Man uses his powers to make the radiation inside Superman harmless, purging his circulatory system from within, and the Man of Steel is saved. Meanwhile, the Doom Patrol and Dr. Calder try to deduce who the real culprit behind the attack is. We get a flashback story that takes us to 1600 BC China during the Shang dynasty. They had procured a sword from that era which used to be used by someone who was allegedly a madman. The sword was from the legend of Nezha. Nezha was the son of a powerful Chinese warlord named Li Jing. He wielded this sword but died in the battlefield. His father was distraught beyond belief and got his son's body preserved. He then set out on a journey to find a way to bring Nezha back to life. In the process, he lost his years, his wealth and his empire as he worked for a magician and barely got anything to eat, all in the hopes that one day he would find a cure for Nezha from the magician and bring his son back to life. After several years, his dreams came true and he got his hands on the elixir of eternal life. He gave it to Nezha's preserved body, bringing his dead son back once again. However, Nezha was now immortal. On seeing that Li Jing had squandered his money and ruined the empire, Nezha got furious and beheaded his father. Powered up by the elixir and its magic, Nezha soon became a demonic warlord. He strengthened his army and fortune a lot more than it used to be during the dynasty's best times, and his ruthlessness earned him the title the Devil Nezha. However, he was later imprisoned by warriors and deities from the noble house of Ji. Dr. Calder suspects that the Devil Nezha is back, and he is the one sending villains to kill off the superheroes of the present day. Soon, Batman and Superman learn about their enemy Felix Faust tormenting some boy, in this case Shazam, while Barry Allen and Wonder Woman also happen to be busy in their respective battles. Superman calls in Supergirl, who teams up with Robin to pursue the warriors from the House of G via time travel. Meanwhile, Superman and Batman head out to save the boy from Felix Faust, who had sealed his mouth so he could not say Shazam out loud. Superman and Batman confidently go against Felix, expecting him to be at his regular power levels, but it turns out that Nezha is the reason why his magic is suddenly so powerful, and with Superman being weak against magic, there is not much the two heroes can do. Ultimately, Superman manages to salvage the situation and learns that Nezha is behind Felix wielding this powered-up magical staff, but the magician soon creates a terrible illusion that makes the heroes believe that they are now in hell. Meanwhile, Supergirl and Robin reach the Warriors of G in the past, but as the warriors witness them carry Nezha's sword, they believe the heroes to be their enemies and commence their attack against them. In the third issue, known as Chapter 3, House of G, Superman manages to break himself and Batman out of the hell-like hallucination. The Doom Patrol head to find Nezha's tomb and learn that it's somewhere near Corto Maltese. Meanwhile, Supergirl and Robin have a hard time against the Warriors of G, with Supergirl being weak against magic. They ultimately manage to convince them that they are here to stop Nezha and ask them how they can do the same. However, the answer they get is far from satisfactory. The Warriors had to force the beast inside the tomb, but one of their allies had to sacrifice themselves to seal the tomb from the inside, which was the only way to imprison the devil Nezha. At the same time, Flash fights the Mirror Master in a hopeless battle, while Diana has been turned into a statue by Dr. Alchemy, who is also way more powerful than he was before. While Superman and Batman fight Dr. Alchemy, Green Lantern appears out of nowhere and imprisons the heroes in a cage created by his power ring, and even he seems to be a lot stronger than he used to be. So much so that even Superman is unable to break out of the prison created by the Lantern to keep him and Batman locked in. In the fourth issue, Chapter 4, The Devil's Secret, Batman learns that Green Lantern's abilities have been amped up by the devil Nezha's magic, which is why it's so strong against Superman. Green Lantern sends a lethal attack towards Superman, but Batman joins his ally in the fight. They acknowledge how Lantern is stronger than both of them due to magical perks and strong willpower, but Batman also knows that Green Lantern cannot outdo him and Superman together. With Green Lantern using his willpower to attack the duo with his power ring, Batman and Superman crank up their willpower to the max to outdo Green Lantern. Together they try to use their willpowers to get the power ring away from Green Lantern, and they succeed, but another interesting phenomenon occurs. Batman, Superman and Lantern fuse, giving birth to DC's version of Gogeta in a way. Meanwhile, Nezha sends many other DC heroes to fight the Superbat Green Lantern fusion. The fused hero defeats everyone, and then fights Nezha with their time of fusion running out rapidly. Together they are stronger than Nezha, but they run out of juice soon and separate. Soon after, Supergirl comes to the rescue and helps land a fat hit on the devil himself. What makes Lantern Fusion so powerful? Lantern Fusion is not just powerful because of Superman's brawns fusing with Batman's brains. They also have the power of a magically amped up Green Lantern at their disposal. So they are three of Justice League's top heroes in one. The fusion was able to defeat heroes like Firestorm, Wonder Girl, Red Tornado, Martian Manhunter, Black Canary and Kid Flash at once. Soon after, they were almost able to pulverize the devil Nezha. This ability had been unseen until now. After coming back to his senses, it's possible for Green Lantern to use it to fuse others with himself once again. And there's no better candidate for this than the strongest guy ever and the smartest guy ever. Plus, the three of them having immense willpower makes them even more powerful. This opens up a world of possibilities for DC, both with reference to their superheroes and their supervillains. So, with the power ring that symbolizes willpower fusing the heroes, the other power rings can pull off feats of the emotional spectrum they represent. This can also birth a myriad of new villains. And with that, today's video comes to an end. What did you think of the Lantern Fusion? Did you enjoy this video? If yes, then don't forget to like and comment on this video. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.